The idea is with the viewer, more people will have access to the basics of the model to improve collaboration between all of the different disciplines inside the engineering community, which is, I guess, referred to democratization, accessible to everyone, because we know dimensional management involves manufacturing, design, quality, and we want, more and more people to be involved with the dimensional management process and the data that's produced by 3DCS. So what is in the 3DCS viewer? It can open up any 3DCS model, including compliant modeling, mechanical modelers, all of our new packages, DVM, MVM, VA. It has all of your animation capability. You can gain access to all the inputs to the model, moves, tolerances, and measures. And you can load previously produced results, your HST and HLM. One of the largest things in it is that if you have an AAO license, you have the ability to utilize AAO so that you can, analyze your results and modify tolerances and see the geometric effect. And I'm going to go through some of the AAO capability when we get to it. So the viewer is just one more tool in our scalable solution. So you can see, we have design variation modeler, DVM, mechanical variation modeler, MVM, variation analyst, and now we have the viewer. And you can see how, the viewer encompasses all of our products. This is just to let you know that, the viewer is supported on all platforms, Creo, SolidWorks, NX, V5, 3D Experience, and our multi-CAD pack. So 3DCS, is both a PLM or file-based product. And so this is just, giving you a view of how, all of our data is stored at the assembly level of the product. And we can, pull from a file server, do our tolerance analysis, and we don't do anything with the child parts, we just pull them. But the 3DCS analysis goes back to the file server. Along with that, when we're in 3DCS, we can, produce our HTML, PowerPoint, any of our reports, which can also be saved on the file server. From the file server, anybody can pull those reports, pull them, take them out, put them back in, generate, reports, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and then anything that's in the file server, as far as the HST, HLM, we can pull the data directly from the server into the viewer, which you're going to see. So you'll see that, this is the current process if you're using 3DCS on a file server base. And then I'm going to jump over to this slide because then I'll be done. This is the same thing, only utilizing your PLM system. So 3DCS works the same with a PLM system or a file server system. So with that, I'm going to jump over to the software. And then you'll see I have this mouse model. You can see from here we have very few icons. You have your animation icons, you have load your previously run data, and you have geofactor analysis. From here, I'm just going to build it and deviate it. So this is what you see from our basic demos. You can see we can show the variation graphically. We can separate it, and we can animate it through its build process. So an outsider can see, how was this product put together. And then you can load data. So right now there is no data in this model, but I can click this button here and say File, Load HSP, and I'm going to pull in some data. So now this was data that was previously run, and I can build this. Click on the measurement, and it will highlight where that measurement is. It will list all the contributors from that measurement, or I can click through one at a time, and it can, show you where these contributors are on the part. Those of you that are used to seeing me do presentations, I always like to separate the model, because then when I click on the contributor, it's easier to see where those contributors are. But you have all the capability from here. Let me go ahead and build it and go into one of these measurements. From here, you can zoom in on any of your measurements and say show max. So it built it to the max position. Show min. You can go into any of your tolerances. So this happens to be the 4-way float for the top cover where it attaches to the base. And if I, right click on here and say visualize effect, I can deviate just that tolerance and see the effect of just that tolerance. So you can do that for any of your tolerances. From here, besides being able to click through all of your contributors, see your statistical results from the previous one, you can display your contributors per feature or per tolerance. So you can see how this list changes. You can see your geometric effect. And with this model, this is a key model because we know we're measuring a gap here, but this top button is attached with 2 holes back here. So this float has a very large geofactor. So you can start telling, seeing how your tolerances, an outsider can use this to start interrogating his part tolerances or his, indexing features to understand if change should be made to improve this results.